I hate my body. And if only I could just change this about my body, life would all of a sudden just be perfect. Okay, that used to be me too. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can go from hating your body to getting everything you want in your life. I literally manifested my dream partner from healing all this in my life around food and my body. I know, sounds hard to believe, but I made it happen, and I'm so excited to show you how you are going to do the exact same thing. If you're looking for evidence-based tools, proven resources on how to transform your body hate into love, how to have self-acceptance, compassion, how to have a loving, peaceful relationship with food, and confidence that is unstoppable in your life, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and you'll be notified every week when I post a new video, especially if you hit that little bell. Okay, so how did I go from hating my body to having a loving, confident relationship with my body, and more importantly, my life? Here's the thing. I'm going to lead you through these steps, and I'm going to invite you to consider that when you have a hateful relationship with your body, that it not only affects your body, but it affects every single area of your life. I know that we know that. That's no surprise, right? So when we look at this healing journey of how to transform your relationship with your body, we actually want to expand that a lot bigger than just focusing on your body and your relationship with food. So the thing is, our first mistake is that we often just try and fix our body. We try and change the outside. We try and fix our relationship with food. And that actually, as you've experienced, never actually leads to the confidence that you're looking for. When I was struggling with my body my whole life, I struggled with disordered eating when I was younger. I always had fear of certain food groups. I always had this fear I'm going to gain weight, and that really dictated and controlled my whole life. And I really battled with insecurity about my body and my self-worth my whole life, just thinking if finally I could change this part of my body, I would finally be happy. I would finally manifest the partner that I dreamed of. And the more I obsessed over that, the more I obsessed over food, agonized over it, the more I exercised, it didn't matter. No matter how much my body actually changed, I was actually never happy. And I'm sure that if you're listening to this right now, you're nodding along going, yep, I've probably done those diets, done those workout programs, got that body that I thought was going to lead me to happiness, and realized that it actually only led me to rock bottom, which leads me to step number 1. So the first step that I took in transforming my relationship with my body is the following. I decided, okay, I've hit rock bottom. I had this realization that this wasn't working, that my life was total agony, that I was sitting at home, avoiding going out on dates, avoiding going on vacations, avoiding going to friends' cabins, having total anxiety over eating at a dinner with friends because I was worried about the calories. I realized that I'd hit this rock bottom, and my body actually experienced burnout. I experienced adrenal fatigue from the amount of stress I was causing my body over the negative thoughts about my body. We don't realize the extent of damage that we do to our physical bodies, to our mental health from the negative thoughts we have about our body. And I always say this, it's not your fault. We were conditioned to believe these things through the beauty industry, diet culture, beauty standards over the years. Probably someone in your family struggled with this. It's not your fault. So that's important to realize. But we really don't realize how much we damage our physical health from simply the negative thoughts that we have going on in our body. Every time we have these negative thoughts about ourselves, this anxiety about food, it really creates this switch that goes on that activates your stress response system. You secrete cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which lowers your metabolism. It takes away your energy. It shuts off a whole part of your brain that's responsible for tapping into things like confidence, self-esteem, compassion, acceptance, creative reasoning, logic, all of those things, because you're just operating in this fight or flight system. So even just having negative thoughts about your body every day does a lot of damage to yourself, to your physical body, mental health, all of it. So I hit rock bottom from this extent of burnout that I had from all this negativity. And I decided, step 1, I'm acknowledging that this is an issue, that I'm not well, that I need to change this, that I want to take my life back. I want to experience life. I don't want to be at the end of my life and regret that I didn't say yes to things, that I didn't go out and do the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to go to the beach and wear a bathing suit and feel good in it. And, so much bigger than that. So that was step one. I decided that things needed to change. Step two is I decided, okay, I have so much stress running through my body from so many of these negative thoughts. I'm chronically worrying about food and what I'm eating and not eating, and I'm over exercising. So I'm doing all these high intensity workouts because that's what everyone said is going to make me love my body. There's always a trendy workout of the year that we're supposed to do to trim our bodies down to finally feel worthy enough. I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. My body is clearly overridden with stress. My body put on, just from stress, like 15 pounds of weight because of stress. And of course, if you're obsessed about your body and all of a sudden your body puts on weight, that's like your biggest fear coming to reality. So I was able to meet that fear straight in the face and say, okay, this isn't even about the weight. This is about the fact that my body is not healthy, that I'm not, because I have so much stress running through me. So I stopped doing high intensity workouts. They weren't working for me. They were actually creating an inverse effect with my body, which is actually very common. When we have too much stress, too many negative thoughts, we're obsessing about all these things, then we're pushing our body to do high intensity workouts where we're spiking our stress system again. You're flooding your body with those stress hormones, and those are also fat storing hormones. So then I decided, okay, I'm not going to do this type of workout anymore. I'm going to opt for things that are more calming. So I'm going to go for walks. I started going on really nice walks that really allowed me to take in nature, the scenery. I would walk along the water, and I would go for like an hour walk, and I would listen to music or podcasts that made me feel good. And I transitioned away from high intensity exercise, and I started doing more yoga, more Pilates, things that help my body to feel more at ease. Because the other thing is I wasn't sleeping from all the stress that I had about my body, my weight, etc. So that was step number two. I also realized that I had developed this emotional binge eating pattern where, because I was chronically restricting food throughout the day, my body had these urges to eat insatiably because I obviously wasn't feeding my body properly. So I decided to really take a look at my relationship with food and go, this also isn't working, and I really need to actively work on changing that. So now we're into step three. So step three was I started developing a spiritual practice. So what that means is I stopped trying to fight this battle on my own and stopped trying to muscle my way through my relationship with my body and food. I actually started to hand it over to a power greater than me. And that piece was really important in transforming my relationship with my body and food, because I really started to tune in and do, little prayers and blessings every day where I remember at the peak hitting rock bottom and being on my knees saying to the universe, like, I cannot do this anymore. I need your help. I surrender this all to you. Please show me the way forward. And it was with that I was able to then really start to take positive action forward in my life. I started to be given these signs and people and connections that all of a sudden, step by step, started to build my life back. And that was no surprise. Like, there are loving energies surrounding us at all times, guiding our lives. And if we can tap into them, we will experience true life transforming results, because these energies want to help us. So whether you have, a religious connection or a spiritual connection, I really encourage, a connection to something far greater than you, whether it's nature or the ocean. I used to go sit by the ocean and just look at the ocean and just talk to it and honestly speak my troubles and just say, imagine them washing away in the ocean. So this practice of every day tuning in to whatever power it is that you believe in and surrendering your struggles and just offering them up and saying, please show me the way forward. I'm ready to heal this. You'll be amazed at what you receive from it, not to mention the amount of peace and healing that came from it. I also did my Reiki healing certification. So that was something that really deeply connected me to this loving energy that I was then able to channel for myself and my own healing. And I now run a Reiki healing school where I certify students all the time around the world to experience that same energy of peace and love and healing for themselves and others. So, next step. So I want to just pause right here and say that if you are deeply struggling with your body, with these incessant negative thoughts about yourself, please do not let them run your life. You can book a call with me anytime. I offer free 60-minute calls where I will absolutely walk you through everything that I did to heal my relationship with my body. And I invite you to pick up that phone and just use that resource. Call me and let me support you to really transform your life and walk away from these negative, incessant energies and thoughts that are just totally consuming you, because your life is waiting for you and it's not worth it to let these struggles carry on. So I just really need to say that before we move on to the next step. Okay, so next step we have step 4. How did I heal my negative thoughts about my body? So these are patterns that we have in our brain. You're learning that no matter how much we try and change our physical body, our physical appearance, it's not going to heal those inside thoughts. So this is the diet trap. They instruct us that the more we diet, the more we go on these programs, the more we're magically going to love our bodies. Well, as someone that's done them all, I can assure you that even at my quote unquote fittest and thinnest, I was not happy. I was miserable. My life was totally restricted and further obsessed with how much food I was consuming. I was at Coachella Music Festival for my 30th birthday and I couldn't even be present and enjoy myself because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I drink this or eat this? It's going to compromise my body. Tomorrow I'm going to have to work out twice, like very unhealthy. And I know that if you're someone who's been on the chronic restriction and diet train, you know the same too, or some obsessive workout plan, like you reach that goal or whatever you think you're working towards. And then once you're there, you realize, I thought I was going to be so happy. And all of a sudden I don't feel any different. In fact, I feel the same. And now I'm worrying about some other issue. It's never enough. So I learned that I had to heal the negative thought loops that were programmed in my brain, the conditioning at a subconscious level, to actually be able to overcome this, okay? So how did I do that? I had already tried working with, I can't even tell you how many therapists, okay? And therapists are amazing, not knocking any of that profession, okay? Very vital in the world. But what needed to heal was deeper than just something that I could talk out. Our minds are so intelligent, and these negative loops were so intense that they were like automatic programs that I couldn't shut off. So I stumbled across EFT tapping, emotional freedom techniques, otherwise known as tapping. And this modality combines 42 different types of modalities together, like positive psychology, acupressure, our energy meridians, NLP, cognitive behavioral therapy. And what this does is that when we're working with a practitioner and you're tapping through these points on your body while voicing the negative thoughts that you have about yourself, this wild thing happens where your brain, you start to take all the energy away from those negative thought patterns. And the more energy and intensity we remove from thoughts, the more they get pruned out by our brain, meaning those neural pathways get cut and they fizzle off and they die. We host a little funeral for all those limiting beliefs and thoughts. So this magical thing happens where all of a sudden we experience what we call a cognitive shift. And so all the energy that was once put into all those negative thoughts that said, you just need to lose weight, your body's not thin enough, you're ugly, whatever the thoughts are, through doing this actual work, I transformed all of those negative thoughts about myself, about food, all the fears I had about food, all the stresses I had about dating, all the insecurities, because I reprogrammed my mind. I healed those thoughts. Honestly, when I experienced this tool, I was like, I've experienced a true miracle in my life. I can say with absolute confidence, I never thought this would happen in my entire life, that I can look at myself in the mirror, not have a negative thought overtake me. I can eat carbohydrates. I can eat a pizza. I can have 5 margaritas in a row or whatever I want to drink and not have a single ounce of anxiety or negativity. Working through and healing those negative thought patterns truly, completely transformed my life. I have never felt more confident, joyful, grateful, accepting, loving, compassionate. It healed every single area of my life because our thoughts about our body and food are like a spider web. Those limiting beliefs about yourself and your body, I know you know, they tend to show up in your ability to, manifest abundance. The same limiting thoughts you have about yourself and your body show up in your dating life and intimacy. And it's like a block that just permeates everything like a poison. So healing all those thoughts, doing that reprogramming actually completely transformed that entire spider web that was my life. And is now the career that I lead as a body confidence healer and coach. So this is something that oh my gosh, I couldn't even say enough about how amazing it is to live a life free of these things, free of those negative thoughts. And the best part is you learn tools as well through the act of doing this tapping work, where you're now empowered to take those tools and what you've learned and use them for any area of your life. So that's the super empowering thing about it. It's a tool that you learn that whenever you're stressed about something else in your life, you get to sit down and use this tool and empower yourself to clear that stress, clear that negativity, and instead experience that confidence, peace, empowerment towards whatever issue it is that you're struggling with. You learn how to be the master of your mind, which is like the wildest, coolest thing ever. So if you're curious to learn more about EFT and the hands-on tool, absolutely follow through to my channel. I teach you so many hands-on evidence-based EFT tapping tools where I'm showing you exactly what supported me to clear that programming. So you get to experience it all on my channel. And as I said, you can always book a call with me because this is what I do. This is what brings me so much joy, is helping you to truly eradicate all that negativity, all those obsessive limiting thoughts, and transform your life and have the unstoppable confidence you've always dreamed of. So that's what I need to say about that. So the next 2 steps I'm going to share quickly because I know I love to talk a lot and then these videos get a little long, but honestly, I want to give you so much value. So let's get into the next 2 steps. Okay, next 2 steps was realizing again that my relationship with my body was so much bigger than just my body and food. And I kept making the mistake of just trying to heal, fix my body, change what I'm eating, eat less, do all the, it's like this whole negative trap that we get stuck in that's super toxic. So I really started to build back my self-esteem outside of my relationship with my body, outside of my body, realizing that my worth is not my body and that as a human being, my body's always destined to change. So if my self-worth is always hinged on my body, what's going to happen when my body changes? Nothing good, if that's where I'm going with it, right? And I started to really look at this whole picture of my life and go, what brings me joy? What do I value? What things in life do I want to get up to? And instead of saying, no, I can't until my body changed or changes, I'm going to say yes, because this is the mistake we make too. Our healing around our body comes from our whole life. When you allow yourself to experience joy, do the things that you want to do in life, do the things that, you were otherwise saying no to, you directly heal the relationship you have with your body. So yes, even though it might be challenging to go to the beach or say yes to that vacation or say yes to that date, the energy, the healing, the endorphins you get from all those experiences and putting yourself out there like that directly heal your relationship with your body, your life, and your self-esteem. So that's very important. Take a holistic picture of your life, all the areas that are important to you. Ask yourself, like, how fulfilled am I in each of these areas? You can give it a number of 1 to 10. And what 2 things could I do in each of these areas of my life right now? What 2 action steps can I do right now to actually live more into each of these areas of my life? I promise you that will directly transform your relationship with your life. Next step, quite simple. I just started saying yes. So of course, like I said, maybe dating is difficult for you when you don't have a positive body image because you feel like, oh, no one would want to be with me. I don't look good. I'm ugly, whatever the dialogue is. Trust me, I had that too. And I know it doesn't feel good to sit at home and hide in the shadows of yourself. You are such a beautiful beaming light that deserves to be out there and enjoy yourself. And so I just started saying yes. I started putting myself out there, and I was like, okay, it seems like all these stories I had about myself are complete crap, because here I am living my life, going on these dates. People were interested, putting myself out there, saying yes to vacations, having so much fun with friends. Like, you just realize it's not even about your body. And the last thing I need to say is that I became really an expert curator of the content that I was seeing on Instagram, all of that. Like, I just started removing accounts and things that really triggered me, because frankly, none of it's real. Like, the extent of editing that people do on that app is wild. So I started trimming away all the accounts that were triggering and only following people that had, a positive message that felt inspiring for me. And that really changed my view, right? So we get to curate a lot of our world. Yes, we don't with certain other things, but you can be an advocate in your own life for what you see and how that influences your body image and the messages that you see every day. So that's another hot tip. And I had something else, so I'm going to bring it to you because I want to give you one more juicy thing before we leave here today. Okay, the last thing I want to say is that the diet culture is not going to lead you to any confidence or lasting happiness with your body. So we know research shows that diets are designed to fail, and less than 2% of people that ever go on them or have a restrictive relationship with food ever have any lasting results. And in fact, it's been proven to compromise things like our self-esteem, our joy, true happiness, all of it. Like, all it does is restrict our lives and make us more obsessed about food, and actually really damages our metabolism. So if you can be an active participant in that way in your life and decide, okay, I'm not going to do this with the diet industry anymore. I'm going to work towards having an intuitive, peaceful relationship with food. My goodness, you'll be amazed at what actually shifts in your life. I can't tell you how much joy I get from food. And my life used to be filled with fear around food. And I had this whole belief, which is the number one misconception about moving into an intuitive relationship with food, which is, if I all of a sudden let go of these rules around food, I'm just going to all of a sudden never stop eating and gain all this weight. Oh, so much more to unpack there. But for now, what I will say is that is not true. Sure, maybe for the first week, you might get really excited and just want to eat pizza every day because you never allowed yourself to eat pizza, but pizza is going to get real boring after a while. So what you're going to realize is that food in general, all those things that were off the table that become like a drug, are all of a sudden not going to become that interesting. It's like, yeah, now I can eat pizza and I can eat as much as I want, but it's not this thing that I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to eat all of it because it's been off the table for so long, which it used to be for me. So you'll start to experience so much peace and freedom around food and realize that food doesn't run your life. You do. And that you can enjoy whatever you want, and then nothing terrible is going to happen to your body. I've never felt more confident or sexy or loving towards my body. And I basically threw out all the rules that I ever learned about dieting, about exercise, about eating, about all of that. And I just focused on healing the negative thoughts about my body, myself, my self-worth, and started taking positive action in the direction of saying yes to life. Yes to me taking my life back. Yes to confidence. Yes to me having confidence outside of the way my body looks. Yes to all of it. And as I said, this is possible for you too. Like, I literally manifested my dream partner from healing all this in my life around food and my body. I was stuck in really toxic relationships because I didn't hold myself high in my self-worth. So this is all possible for you. Again, like, if you're ready to truly let go of those negative beliefs, you're ready to let go of the diet trap, you're ready to let go of your misery, and you want to have unstoppable confidence beyond your body image, you want to have peace with your body, you want to have peace with food, literally, please do not let that negativity run your life anymore. Pick up the phone, give me a call, and I will lovingly guide you into what is proven to give you these same results. I'm sending you so much love. Let me know in the comments below what was the best tip for you. And you can check out these videos here, as I said, for those proven tools that will start transforming your life today. I love you so much. You're amazing. And you got this. It's time to take your life back.